Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Living the Sweet Life. I'm your host, TJ Sweet, and on this podcast, I'm going to talk about different ways that can help you reshape your mindset, live with intention, and look at the world through a grateful lens. So, first of all, let me express my gratitude to you for making time to listen to these episodes. And while you're here, go ahead and take a second to subscribe if you haven't yet to get notifications when these episodes come out every Monday. We like to call it Mindset Monday. So, based on what I talked about last week, for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be talking about the path to significance. Not your significance, but doing something that you understand is significant. Because once we attach significance to what we're doing, we understand that everything that we do matters. And then we start to put different weight and meaning behind the things that we do. But this is a journey. This is a process. This is something for me over the last 10 years. I've experienced it. I've practiced it. I've recognized the transformative power it can have in my life and in the relationships I have and the people's lives that I get to spend my time with. But it also completely transforms how I see the world and how I think about the world. So the first step, like I talked about last week, the first step to your path to finding and really recognizing significance in what you do is through gratitude. So I know we've talked about gratitude quite a bit throughout this podcast, but this is a different way of describing gratitude and how it helps transform your life. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to go from just the thought of gratitude or the intention of being grateful and talk about that shift to being someone that is actually grateful. Being a grateful person is different than somebody who just practices gratitude. So I'm talking about the kind of gratitude that transforms the way you see the world. Even though the world may not be how you want it to be, and it may not be as best as it could be, but changing the way we see the world will also change the way that we treat ourselves and the way we treat others. So starting kind of at the beginning, gratitude is not just this fleeting emotion that is moment to moment when things are great. It is something that really dictates what we do, what we read, how we speak, how we take care of ourselves, and how we take care of the people that we love. It's really a way of living. It's a mindset that reshapes our perceptions, attitudes, and actions. By cultivating this sense of daily gratitude, because it's hard to go from wherever you are now to being a completely grateful person. It's important to break it down, like we've talked about many times, to a daily practice. But that really helps us become more grateful and then leads us to finding more sense of purpose and fulfillment in our day-to-day lives. So the first thing I want to talk about is the foundational building block of developing this sense of daily gratitude. So developing daily gratitude really starts with a simple and powerful practice that we've talked about time and time again. But I'm sure it's easier on some days than it is on others. But it's really, really so foundational, and it's the building block to this path that we're talking about. It's important to take time each day to reflect on the people and the things that we have in our lives that we're grateful for. And it can be as simple as what I've told you about with the 3-2-1 habit. It could be as simple as just jotting down 3 things you're grateful for every morning or evening, or just taking a few moments to reflect and express gratitude for the blessings that you have in your life. The key with this is consistency, making gratitude a daily habit that truly becomes ingrained in your routine. Once you shift from practicing gratitude because you should, once you make that shift to practicing gratitude because you must, because it's who you are, right? But to get that difference, to recognize the shift of mindset, it really does the first step to any habit, especially this one. Becoming meaningful is our mindset and beliefs that we're committed to becoming a grateful person and that the work required is worth it. So worth it to the people that we love and the people that we're the most grateful for. This idea of daily gratitude can and will turn into many grateful moments throughout the day. So it opens up, it creates new neurologic pathways in our brains using the science of neuroplasticity like we've talked about. But once you start to recognize who and what you're grateful for, you will start to see more of those things. And I will talk more about the impact of that throughout this episode. But I want you to really settle into this path, this thought that I'm about to share with you. So again, these daily gratitude practices will help you recognize and be more present throughout the day. And it really is as simple as a thought that becomes a behavior. So a thought of gratitude leads to being a grateful person. And then you being a grateful person, that behavior becomes a habit. And then that habit becomes a practice that you do all the time. Not that you have to be reminded to do it, but it's something that you do all the time. And then when that practice really starts to take over in your life, it becomes your response to life and just simply who you are. So if you want to know, how do I become more grateful? You have to understand that practicing gratitude on a routine basis and stopping and thinking about who and what you're grateful for and really pour into the lives of the people you're the most grateful for, that thought will eventually turn into just who you are. Now, I want to walk you through that path of how do you become a grateful person? How do you go from somebody who practices gratitude to becoming a genuinely grateful person? Because most of the people when I'm on stage and I'm talking to people, this is the first feedback I get is I practice gratitude, but I still don't feel like I'm a grateful person. Or they practice gratitude and they still express emotions that show me that gratitude really hasn't settled into their heart and soul yet. So I want to talk about that, right? This is a journey. I've been doing this every day for the last 10 years, and I still do it every day. So once we start a habit without the idea of when can I stop doing this after I get what I want to get from it, once you stop that mindset, this is where this is going to take place in your life. So as we consistently practice gratitude, something really remarkable happens. We actually become a grateful person. So gratitude becomes our response to how we live, shaping our thoughts and feelings and behaviors. And, we begin to see the world through this lens of abundance rather than scarcity, focusing on what we have rather than what we lack. Grateful people radiate, give off positivity, kindness, and joy, enriching their own lives, but also the lives of the people around them. And so those people who just radiate this energy, who give you that energy and inspire you. Those are the people who get it, right? It's in their heart. It's in who they are. But there's a path that everybody goes down. Sometimes it's self-awareness and sometimes it's moments of perspective. And for me, 10 years ago when my life, completely kind of shifted being introduced to this, but really it took a while before it became who I was. So I walked this path with you on, okay, I'll journal every day for a little while and see what happens. But that was my mindset. Journal for a little while and see what happens instead of I'm committed to being a grateful person. Make that transition, and I promise you this journaling will transform everything. And so journaling is an incredible way to measure that it's a great measure that you will have that will help you see your growth. I write down my 3-2-1 habit, my 3 things I'm grateful for, 2 things I appreciate about myself, and 1 affirmation every single day because it helps me see my growth. It helps me keep the important things as the important things. And it affirms that I am a grateful person. We all have moments of ups and downs throughout our lives, but how we respond to life oftentimes is because what we believe of who we are. So when you say you're grateful, when you genuinely say it and you recognize it, This is the shift. You become less angry, judgmental, offended, impatient, and anxious. So if you're feeling any of those things, dig into this gratitude habit and recognize that other people feel certain ways because of them, not because of you. And if you're feeling angry and judgmental and offended, impatient, or anxious, just know you're human, right? It's not a matter of never feeling those things. It's just understanding that we have moments of feeling some of those things, but then we move forward because of our gratitude, because of who we are. And we can't be grateful and angry at the same time. So if you're really frustrated and angry in a moment, stop. Maybe that's your moment to stop and think about, okay, what matters the most? And how is this going to impact the people that I'm grateful for? And when you become a grateful person, you treat people differently and breathe more life into people instead of trying to tear them down to make you feel better about yourself and your life. Oftentimes, the people who try to bring us down are really recognizing that you're growing and they don't want you to outgrow them. So they try to break you down. But a grateful person lives in this abundance and therefore wants everybody else to thrive and succeed. And you aren't threatened by the success of others. You're inspired by it. That's that state of abundance, of understanding that we can all win. And I don't have to break anybody down to feel better about myself. It actually inspires me when other people are doing well. And I want to pour into the people that I'm the most grateful for. And there are people in our lives that will try to break us down and will criticize us more than talk to us. And they'll have a negative, condescending comment back about some of the most simple things that is absolutely not required at all. But they are dealing with something in their own selves. But if you're not careful, that could also start to pour into you and shift the way that you see the world. Once other people kind of break you down and start to see, you start to kind of question a little bit. But this is why this habit is so important, because other people aren't going to be in your headspace all the time. And other people may not try to lift you up, but that's an issue with them, not an issue with you. So once you affirm that you're a grateful person on a daily basis, you will start to consistently and subconsciously think and behave like a grateful person. Now, how do we apply this, right, to our everyday life? And so gratitude isn't just reserved, like I said earlier, for these special occasions or moments of abundance or when we're celebrating something. It can be applied to every aspect of our lives, even in challenges of our adversity. I've had 4 knee surgeries in the last 12 months. My life has not, been as normal, right, as I would like it to be over the last 12 months. But I've dug in and I've recognized that the work I've been doing for my mindset has really helped me see this chapter of my life as an opportunity to dig in and learn and really gain a new perspective. So I'm actually grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for how things have gone in my life, even though that hasn't gone how I planned. I'm grateful for how it's gone because of who I get to have in my life right now. So in fact, during these difficult times, practicing gratitude really becomes even more important. So when you're stressed or, when you're going through some adversity, it's really dig into gratitude, because then you'll start to recognize the power, because it creates such a shift of our focus from what's wrong to what's right. We can find silver linings and lessons and opportunities for growth in even some of the darkest moments. So becoming a grateful person really starts with self-awareness. So recognize when you respond in kindness and when you're responding with anger or judgment. And stop and think about what you're thinking about in those moments when you respond that way and what's causing you to feel that way. Anger often comes from fear, and judgment typically comes from a lack of self-awareness or confidence. So choose to respond in gratitude by increasing your self-awareness. Recognize that you have the chance to respond to people more in your life instead of react to them. So understanding that everyday application of gratitude really is self-awareness. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never saying something that isn't kind. It's not about any of that. It's just about, how do you feel every day? And we feel better when we're more kind to more people in the world. But if we surround ourselves with people who aren't kind, who aren't trying to lift us up, who aren't encouraging us, that just criticize us and make us feel like we're not doing something meaningful in their lives, if that's who we surround ourselves with, then this is going to be tough, but it's still possible. You can choose to, this is a quote that has resonated with me, but you can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. And so choose yourself in some of these situations when you're surrounded by people who aren't trying to lift you up, who aren't encouraging you, who don't believe in you. There's always a choice. And, make sure you choose a choice that is good for you and good for the people that you love and that you're the most grateful for. So how do you then, right? So this next step that we're going to talk about next week is kind of why gratitude has really transformed my life. And so giving you a little sneak peek into next week, but it really is about how does gratitude connect to finding your purpose? So it's pretty simple. Like gratitude opens our hearts and minds to the beauty and wonder of life, giving us this sense of direction towards our true calling. And, being grateful is energy giving. When you're grateful, the words we speak are energy giving, forward thinking, and powerful. You start to talk more about what's possible instead of doubting things and criticizing things and not believing things are possible. That is a negative and toxic mindset. And so do your best to not surround yourself with people like that. Surround yourself with people who give you energy, who ask about how you're doing, who challenge you and believe in you and offer resources and try to lift you up and speak highly of you, even when you're not even in the room. So when we approach life with gratitude, we become more attuned to our passions and our values and our desires. We recognize the gifts and talents that we have, and we feel inspired to use them in service of something greater than ourselves. That's the path to purpose. So gratitude cultivates and inspires this path to purpose, guiding us towards this life of meaning and fulfillment and impact, because oftentimes we get on cruise control when we think, is what I'm doing important? Does it matter? Does it matter what I eat? Does it matter what I read? Does it matter what I say? Does it matter what I do? When we get lost in that spiral of wondering whether or not it matters, gratitude brings you back out of that and understands and helps you understand your path to your purpose and the significance that you have in the lives of the people that you love and that you're the most grateful for. And so as you embark on this journey of, self-discovery and personal growth, and remember that the transformative power of gratitude is really, it's more than a daily practice. It's, the idea of believing that gratitude can transform your life. And then when you become that grateful person, apply it to every day of your life and give yourself grace, because this is a journey and a process. This is, if you want to change your personal reality, Joe Dispenza talks about this. If you want to change your personal reality, if you want to change who you spend your time with, if you want to change how you feel every day, you have to change or be aware of your personal characteristics and your personality. So Joe Dispenza's actual quote is, if you want to change your personal reality, you have to change your personality. Now, I'm not implying that you need to change your personality. But what I'm saying is, if you're unhappy with certain aspects of your life, you're going to have to change how you think and how you see and how you feel about that thing and the effort that you're giving towards that. And so it's super, super critical to think about the time that we're giving to the people in our lives. And are those people lifting you up? Are they, making you feel more grateful, or are they making you feel less than? Because if somebody's making you feel less than, it's because they recognize that you're outgrowing them. And so it's not a matter of you being better, or it's not a matter of you, doing something negative towards them. It's their inability to recognize that you're doing something great and they're trying to keep you down. So don't let that happen. Focus on the people you're grateful for. Focus on the people that inspire you and make you want to be better and who lift you up and who are always going to be there. Because, really in doing so, you really kind of unlock this sense of community, this sense of purpose every day. And, you'll experience this sense of joy and abundance and fulfillment along your day. And really embrace this journey of gratitude and purpose and effort and significance with an open heart, with a grateful spirit, and watch as this journey that you're on towards your purpose really starts to shine more light and give you more energy and make you even more excited to do the things right now that you may feel like you have to do. They will transform to things that you get to do. And so as I wrap up this episode, I just want to continue to breathe life into you and encourage you to focus on the things that mean the most to you. Focus on the people that mean the most to you, and recognize that this path of a gratitude journey is not just a 21-day habit. It's something that we just need to commit to every day. And then years down the road, we'll start to recognize how much it can transform our lives. And gratitude helps us shift from this perspective of living in regret to living in joy. So as I, encourage you every week, share something here. Reach out to somebody you're grateful for and talk to them about your gratitude for them or how gratitude transform your life. Create a text group of people and share what you're grateful for. Create energy and positive momentum towards gratitude in your life. And recognize that we always have this idea of power of choice, right? We're making choices every day. And if you're not making new choices, that's still you making a choice. So, as we go on this journey of personal growth and, giving yourself some grace and love, but also knowing that you deserve to feel grateful. You deserve to feel loved and inspired and believed in. And oftentimes that starts with ourselves and then surrounding ourselves with people who make us feel the same way. So thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. And I will wrap up this episode with the gentle reminder, as I always do, that you always have the power and the choice to reshape your mindset, live with intention, and look at the world through a grateful lens. Until the next episode, never stop.